Ja, moin zusammen und herzlich willkommen zu Sam and Max. So, wir haben die Episode 2 hinter uns gelassen. Gehen wir mal in Episode 3. Sie haben Max Gehirn. So ist es. Oh meine Güte. Okay, und da ist er ganz allein auf dem Foto. Kleiner Kumpel, was haben Sie dir angetan? Jemand hat sich Max Gehirn geschnappt und versucht, die Kontrolle über seine bizarren, übersinnlichen Kräfte zu erlangen. Jetzt krempelt Sam die Ärmel hoch, schlägt Köpfe ein und wirft mit Schnecken um sich. Was? Mit Schnecken? Da steht mit Schnecken. Oh, ja, was auch immer nötig ist, um das zurückzubekommen, was Max rechtmäßig gehört. Nix wie rein. Spielen. Ja. Musik ist aus, ja? Ihr wisst Bescheid. From Telltale Games. Und da sind die beiden. Oh. Sehr gut. Irgendwas Skurriles irgendwas Skurriles wartet wieder auf uns, ne? Sam and Max. Jawohl. The Devil's Playhouse. Na denn. Ladebildschirm? Das ist auch schön.
Thanks to our magnificent brains, most of us live out our lives under the delusion that we are in control. But are our brains truly in control? Makes you think, doesn't it? Engrossed in the thrilling cinematic exploits of their ancestors, the Freelance Police have had no time to ponder these eternally vexing questions. But in mere moments, they and you will be plunged headfirst into these murky philosophical depths when Sam returns from his ill-timed bathroom break to discover they stole Max's brain.
Max? Little buddy?
Oh yeah.
No, 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 no! No!
What happened?
Hey! What happened to Max? Talk!
We don't know!
1 second we were guarding the devil's toy box.
Then bam! Out went the lights!
Through a fog of rage, darkness, and raisinets, I tried to remember what Flint Paper told me about interrogating suspects.
Rule number 1, don't let the suspect control the conversation. Get him talking, then surprise him. Interrupt him with a question, or call him a liar, freak him out. And if all else fails, bring little Miss Persuasion out for a stroll.
Actually, I think it was more
Okay.
of a boom, really.
Versucht die Verdächtigen mit
I
einer
distinctly heard it more
Drohung
like
zu
a bam.
zerbrechen.
Anyway,
Einschüchtern.
someone knocked us out with a booming...
Go ahead, put us out of our misery.
Since we've lost the devil's toy box, we might as well be dead anyway.
Moment, die ist
Too
auch
easy.
weg.
Keep talking.
Well, that's the last thing we remember until you woke us up and started snarling at us.
Yeah, that's the last thing we remember.
Rule number 2, timing is everything. When you hear the suspect lying, that's when you jump in and accuse him.
Yup, I was totally unconscious the whole time. I certainly didn't see anything interesting. No siree, Bob.
Can we go now? The apocalypse is at hand, and we've got plans to make.
Liar!
All right. I came to before Jebediah, just in time to hear the telltale sounds of a brain being removed from a bunny.
Obadiah, why didn't you do anything?
I was Afraid. Afraid that he'd remove my brain, too.
Who? Who took Max's brain?
It was the space gorilla.
Was?
Skunkape.
Of course. He must have been released from the penal zone when the Toybox was stolen.
Der ist
I'm
noch
so
hier.
sorry.
Not half as sorry as that brain-stealing space ape's gonna be when I catch up with him.
Rule number 3, mole men are easy. To crack the tough nuts, you'll need information to prove your case. Sometimes you gotta ask around to get the dirt on the doers. Now, go get 'em.
I wrote a mental note to thank Flint at Max's funeral and got ready to squeeze some punks.
Manchmal helfen Aussagen. Ja.
General Skunkape. I should have known. That space ape had wanted Max's brain ever since he found out it was special. Now that special brain was gone, and I was cut loose, drifting in the neon current, hoping for a lucky break. Hello, ugly.
Uh-oh.
You're one of Skunkape's goons. Where's your boss? What did he do to my little buddy?
I don't know. I haven't seen General Skunkape since you unjustly imprisoned him in the penal zone. I'll never forget his final terrified howl as it echoed across the dimensional boundaries. And are you trying to threaten me with that?
Ja.
Maybe.
You are aware that my ultra-dense space gorilla hide renders me impervious to your puny Earth bullets, right?
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Where were we?
Since Skunkape's imprisonment, I've been reevaluating my life choices. I've abandoned violence for a career as a sign spinner. It's a very fulfilling, low-temperature job, more suited to a space ape of a...
You lie!
No, it's true! I've abandoned a
Hier
life
scheint
of
das nicht zu
violence
funktionieren.
and conquest for an honest, peaceful job as a sign spinner. See?
Ah, yes, so where were we?
But enough about me. You should talk to the rat. Yes, the rat. He certainly seems plugged into the ins and outs.
Rat? What rat?
Frankie the rat. He traffics in stolen merchandise and tawdry gambling rings.
Where can I find him?
He hangs out on the corner of Veni and Vidi in the Latin Quarter.
Oh, whoa, whoa. Oh, der Ärmste. Oh.
Frankie the
gut.
Rat. The name left a bad taste on my tongue and an itchy sensation in my boxers. Still, there wasn't a rodent more plugged into the bad wiring in the city.
Kennen wir den schon? Ich glaube nicht, oder? Nun. Oh. Oh. Ach du Zeit. Oh nein.
Hey, Rat.
Sam, buddy, how's it hanging?
My partner's got a bad case of a missing brain, and someone thinks you might know something about it.
Brain, huh? Well, I did see something unusual and brain-related a little while back.
Spill!
I was given directions to a confused tourist. Poor fella was wandering around in circles, scaring all the kiddies with his umlauts and tvortisnocks.
You're lying!
Prove it!
I can't!
Then quit spraying me with spittle and let me finish. So, where was I? Oh, yeah. I was almost done helping the guy, see? When bam! All of a sudden, this space ape comes barreling down the street, fighting with some other mook. A space ape carrying a brain!
Skunkape.
I hadn't seen anything that weird since Aunt Jacqueline's vacation slides from Pismo Beach, with the jellyfish on the...
What happened next?
So I grabbed the tourist, and we ducked behind a bunch of crates with the other gorilla. We kept our heads down until the fight moved on down the street. And that's all I know about the space ape what took your buddy's brain. No fooling. That's all I know. I don't know.
Other gorilla? What other gorilla?
Believe it or not, it was another space ape. He was spinning a sign for some pet store, the poor schlub.
So that dirty punk sign spinner did see Skunkape.
So now what?
Nochmal. Was? Nochmal?
One more time. What do you know about my partner's brain?
It's like I was telling you. I was given directions to a confused tourist. Poor fella was wandering around in circles, scaring all the kiddies with his umlauts and tvortisnacks and whatnot. I was almost done helping the guy, see? When BAM! All of a sudden, this space ape comes barreling down the street, fighting with some other mook. A space ape carrying a brain!
Skunkape.
I hadn't seen anything that weird since Aunt Jacqueline's vacation.
Hurry it up.
So I grabbed the tourist, and we ducked behind a bunch of crates with the other gorilla. We kept our heads down until the fight moved on down the street. And that's all I know about the space ape what took your buddy's brain. No fooling. That's all I know. I don't know no more. Yipes! Stop doing that! It ain't good for my angina. So now what?
Nochmal? Was ist denn, soll ich denn machen?
One more time. What do you know about my partner's brain?
It's like I was telling you. I was given directions to a confused tourist. Poor fella was wandering around in circles, scaring all the kiddies with his
Then what?
I was almost done helping the guy, see? When BAM! All of a sudden, this space ape comes barreling down the street, fighting with some other mook. A space ape carrying a brain!
Skunkape.
Das kennen wir doch alles schon.
I hadn't seen anything that weird since Aunt Jacqueline's vacation slides from Pismo Beach with the jellyfish.
Skip it.
So I grabbed the tourist, and we ducked behind a bunch of crates with the...
Das kennen wir
That's
schon.
all I know about the space ape what took your buddy's brain.
Sure, hide behind your crates and wait for someone else to do something. But one day, the violence in the streets is gonna spill over the gutters and stain your pretty white socks with the blood of the innocents.
Socks? I don't got any socks. I'm a rat.
And don't you forget it.
So now what?
Weil ihr muss nochmal, warum muss ich denn nochmal? Wir haben doch alles gehört, oder haben wir es nicht richtig gehört? Oh meine Güte. Okay, also, nochmal.
One more time. What do you know about my partner's brain?
It's like I was telling you. I was given directions to a confused tourist.
Yeah,
Poor
yeah,
fella
yeah.
was wandering around in circles, scaring all the kiddies with his umlauts.
Haben wir noch nicht gehört. Ach so,
Hey
doch,
man,
haben wir
no
schon.
need to pull out the heavy metal. I'm talking, see? So, like I was saying, I was almost done helping the guy, see? When BAM! All of a sudden, this space ape comes barreling down the street, fighting with some other mook. A space ape carrying a brain!
Skunkape.
I hadn't seen anything that weird since Aunt Jacqueline's...
A brain? Was it Max's?
How should I know? All I know, it was a brain in a jar, and that
ich
crazy
komme
space
dahinter.
gorilla was holding on to it
Ja,
like it was
okay.
his best friend in the world. So anyways, I grabbed the tourist, and we ducked behind a bunch of crates with the other gorilla. We
Ja,
kept our heads
das
down,
passt
and
nicht,
that's
ne?
all I know about the space ape what took your buddy's brain. No fooling. That's all I know. I don't know no more.
Ja, mehr ist nicht. Nochmal. Ich
One
muss das
more
gleich am
time.
Anfang
What do
machen,
you
ne?
know about my partner's brain?
It's like I was telling you. I was given directions to a confused
Direction?
tourist.
Wohin?
Poor fella was wandering around in
Where?
Hey, take it easy, big fella. I sent him right over that way, about 2 miles.
Oh, was, so einfach war das? Unglaublich.
Frankie the Rat helping a tourist? It was absurd. Absurd like Max was, back when he had a brain. So imagine my surprise when I found Frankie's tourist wandering around the bad side of town.
Okay, na gut.
Unter Lieben, unter Klaven oben. Unter Lieben, Klaven. Oh! Ah!
Was? Was machst du hier? Hallo?
You, foreign guy, what's your story?
Ooh, an American police shakedown. How thrilling.
Yeah, it's a real honor. Now, what do you know?
Well, About an hour ago, I was getting directions to the museum district from one of your colorful local rats.
And Frankie sent you here?
Yeah.
That dirty lion rat.
You know, back in Europe, I heard so many warnings about your country's rats, but this Frankie was so gracious and helpful.
Museum district?
See, yeah, as a child in Europe, I always dreamt of visiting your city's famous museum district with its Institute of Incomplete Technologies and Hall of Filthy Arts. It's a little more underwhelming than it appeared in my schulbooks. Any Flugen, I was about to give him a tip for the help when all of a sudden a Weltraumliebe Wachzauberkrieg erupted in the middle of one of your asphalt fjords. At least I think it was a Weltraumliebe Wachzauberkrieg. It might have been more of an
Meine Güte,
affair, but I Is that one of your famous American handguns? Fascinating! We don't have any of these in Europe, you know? After the fight moved on, I discovered that someone had picked my pockets, leaving me empty-handed and ibble-skibbled in a strange land. I left the scene of the crime, carrying nothing but the clothes on my back. And you know what else? I'm starting to think that this isn't actually the museum district. Maybe...
It's a strange land, all right. Strange and dark and twisted
Please stop! I'm already ibble-skibbled enough.
Sorry.
De nada. Anything else?
Nee, ich glaube, wir haben alles gefunden.
People in this country are so intense.
Ja, das glaube ich. Auf der Suche durch
The tourists seemed like just another victim circle in the drain, but I knew there was more to the story. It was time to circle back and flush out the truth.
Ja, okay. Ah, wir bekommen wieder... Ja, genau. So, fangen wir vielleicht an mit eigentlich mit dem Schilder, ne?
I'm back! Now where's Skunkape?
I don't know. I haven't seen General Skunkape since you unjustly imprisoned him in the penal zone.
Du
I'll never
lügst.
forget his final terrified howl as
That story ain't gonna wash, Bonzo. Your pal Frankie told me all about how you and he hid from a fight between Skunkape and some other guy. Now make with the lip flapping and I better like what I hear.
It's true. A few of your Earth minutes ago, I was spinning my sign for Frankie the Rat and a tourist when General Skunkape came running down the street, chasing after a strangely garbed man. To my everlasting shame, I cowered behind a crate like a common Venusian bonobo as the general and his prey.
Some days it seems like the whole world is chasing after me, and someone's tied together my shoelaces with regrets and betrayals.
That's pretty sad, but you don't have any shoes.
It's a metaphor.
So anyhow, after the general and the stranger fled the scene, I discovered that he had dropped this.
Oh,
I'm surprised he didn't come back for it, but he appeared to be in something of a hurry. Oh well.
Give me that toy!
No! I need it to get back in General Skunkape's good graces. Once I return this artifact to the general, he'll forgive my temporary abandonment of his goals and welcome me back to his crew with
das wird er
open
doch sowieso.
arms. Oh, how I've
Mal einschüchtern.
Huh. You're fooling yourself, kid.
What are you talking about?
The only thing Skunkape's gonna welcome you with is a fistful of phasers. You can't go home again. You can't even get on the porch. You've tasted the apple, peed in the pool, bitten the hand that rocks the cradle. You're a sign spinner to him now, and that's all you're ever gonna be.
You're right. It's hopeless. No matter what I do now, I'll never soar through the galaxy at my general's side ever again.
Oh. Was ist das, eine Nase?
And I hate to tell you, but you're not a very good sign spinner either. I hated to see a grown gorilla cry, so I got in the car and looked for another lost soul to join me as I gazed into the abyss.
Okay, good.
Finally, a clue. The last time we saw the rhinoplasty toy, Max's special brain used it to turn into a bazooka. Now it was gonna lead me to the guy who stole that special brain. It wasn't exactly ironic, but I didn't care.
Oh, wir gehen nicht nochmal zu der Ratte zurück. Okay.
Crimetron, do your stuff!
Carol.
What do you mean not found in database?
The Crimetron requires additional clues to make an informed deduction.
Clues? I haven't got time for clues. Max's body is starting to smell differently.
Then maybe you should stop yelling at my girlfriend and start with the clue-finding.
Freundin? Ja. Wir gehen doch nochmal zu der Ratte, ne? Ja, wir gehen doch nochmal zu der Ratte. Okay. Aber was können wir der Ratte vorwerfen?
Frankie, what do you know? I was given directions to a confused tourist.
To the museum district?
Yeah, poor fellow was wandering around in circles, scaring all the kiddies with his umlauts and tvortisnacks.
Don't lie to me, Frankie. I talked to your tourist, and it looks to me like you sent him over to the wrong side of town to get rolled by your rat pack.
Maybe I did, maybe I didn't, but this conversation is over. I ain't saying nothing till I get some legal representation. The nerve of some people, trampling a rat's God-given merengue right.
You want a lawyer? Here's an attorney from Smith & Wesson.
Okay, I'll talk. Sheesh. Like you guessed, I gave the tourist directions to the bad side of town, but I was just winding him up, really. Hey, ask me, the schmuck deserved it. Acting all high and mighty and European, wearing his fancy socks. When the big fight broke out, me, the tourist, and the other gorilla ducked down behind the crate, and I, picked their pockets. The tourist was loaded with high-exchange European stuff, but all the other guy had was funny-looking green cubes.
Then what?
After the fight moved on, the tourist got a nice souvenir for his trouble, and I skedaddled back here. And that's all I know, honest. Ask anybody. They'll vouch for old Frankie.
Souvenir?
Yeah, something fell out of the funny hat guy's pocket, and the tourist scooped it up.
What was it?
I don't know, something.
So the tourist didn't leave empty-handed after all.
So what now?
Ja, ich glaube, wir haben's, ne?
Stick around. I may be back.
I shall count the minutes.
Sorry, ich erzähle in dieser Folge nicht besonders viel. Ja, weil irgendwie, das ist, nee, ich muss den Gesprächen folgen und das scheint ja doch ein bisschen wichtig zu sein, in welcher Reihenfolge da was geklickt wird. Die warten alle, warum warten die alle hier?
Let's run through it one more time and speak slowly. I'm an American.
As I said before, about an hour ago, I was getting directions to the museum district from one of your colorful local rats. You know, back in Europe, I had so many warnings about your country's rats, but this Frankie was so gracious.
What happened next?
I was about to give him a tip for the help, when all of a sudden a Weltraumliebe Wachzauberkrieg erupted in the middle of one of your asphalt fjords. At least I think it was a Weltraumliebe Wachzauberkrieg. It might have been more of an Ödeler Spokenfreundl affair. But I digress. After the fight moved on, I discovered that someone had picked my pockets, leaving me empty-handed and ibble-skibbled in a strange land. I left the scene of the crime, carrying nothing but the clothes on my back.
Yep.
You know what else? I'm starting to think that this isn't actually the museum district.
What?
Ibble-skibbled. It's a common European word that describes the feeling of my disorientation combined with nagging doubts about a rat. Honestly, what do they teach you Americans in your schools?
Video poker.
So, what else would you like to know?
Oh nein, wir sind nicht an die richtige Stelle gekommen. Okay, gut. Dann nochmal bitte.
Let's hear your sad little story again. From the top.
Very well. About an hour ago, I was getting directions to the museum. Back in Europe, I had so many warnings about your country. Is that one of your famous American handguns? Fascinating. We don't have any of these in Europe, you know. I was about to give him a tip for the help, when all of a sudden a Weltraumliebe Wachzauberkrieg erupted in the middle of one of your asphalt fjords. At least I think it was a Weltraumliebe Wachzauberkrieg.
A hard rain's coming, pal. And when it comes, you're gonna wish you were only in a Weltraumliebe Wachzauberkrieg.
Your grimness is depressing, but something must be getting lost in a translation. So, as I was saying, after the fight moved on, I discovered that someone had picked my pockets, leaving me empty-handed and ibble-skibbled in a strange...
Ja,
you know what else? I'm starting to think that this...
Don't play innocent with me, metric lover. The rat saw you pick up something after the fight. Now spill!
Yeah, it's true. I took a souvenir from the fight. I didn't think anyone would notice. Here.
Okay.
Norrington. Who the heck is Norrington?
I don't know. Just don't hurt me.
Okay.
You Americans are all animals. Animals.
Naja. So, was das jetzt?
The name rang fewer bells than a sleigh in July. Hopefully, it would be enough.
Solltest du nicht nochmal Emma benutzen?
Okay, Crime-Tron, this is your last chance before I start looking for an upgrade.
Ah, ja, okay.
Come on, you obsolete hunk of junk. Talk! Where's Skunkape?
Sam, no!
Stop holding out on me!
Get away from her, you brute.
Aha. Ein Ziel. Was? Museum für Naturgeschichte und Übernatürliches?
Finally.
Audiences across the country say, you're a monster, Sam.
What have you become?
The Museum of Mostly Natural History. The tarnished jewel of the city's once thriving museum district. Max and I always meant to visit, but we'd never gotten around to it. Now we were finally going to take in its thrilling and dubiously educational displays with a vengeance.
Okay, da sind wir. Das steht doch genauso da dran. Ah, guck an. Treasures of a Forgotten Pharaoh. Natürlich. Exit. Cool.
All right, Skunkape, it's time to pay the piper. Plus tax and applicable service fees.
Ist nicht hier. Ja. Pluto. Richtiger Planet, oder? Was stand da eben? Okay, wir können rumlaufen. Apokalypse
I should
Schaubild.
head up. I'll take a look around after I track down Max's brain.
Okay, alles klar. Laser Light Show. Okay, hier ist... Was steht da? Ist Freitag nachts im Planetarium. Da ist Amadeus.
Not now. I've got to find Max's brain.
Ja, schon gut. Gut, wir gehen da hoch. Wir gehen da hoch. Ich muss trotzdem sehen, lesen, was da ist. Eine kurze Geschichte schlechter Ideen im Transportwesen. Ah ja, Geschichte in extrem genial. Kann ich nicht genau erkennen. Hör mal auf, dich zu bewegen. Kann ich nicht lesen. Pluto, richtiger Planet oder falscher Furz? Gewöhnliche Objekte. Eine was? Eine komische Odyssee und Big Bang Kosmologie, Physik. Du, wenn Realität konkret wird. Okay, gut. Na schön. Also hier. Was geht hier ab? Noch ein Fight? Das hört sich wie ein Fight an.
Hail to my superior technological might, Necromancer!
Blow it out your simian hindquarters, barbarian!
Ihmchen!
Skunky. And paperweight? He's looking pretty spry for a 120-year-old. And there's the Devil's Toybox. And is that...
Sam! Get me out of here. This whole place smells like gorilla and patchouli.
Sam, the interloper who foiled my scheme to collect the toys of power and re-imprisoned me in the penal zone?
Sam? The great-grandson of the patron who put the kibosh on my intricate plan to unleash Yog-Sothoth and take over the world?
I hate that guy.
I hate that guy!
Yes, a common enemy. I propose an alliance.
You get the galaxy, I get the Earth?
Agreed.
Nice going, Bubble Brain.
Don't blame me. I'm still trying to find the volume controls on this thing.
Minions, after him!
Oh oh. Nicht gut.
Sam? Ah, man. Now I'm stuck in here with the alliance of C-list supervillains. Ah, it was way more fun when they were fighting.
Oh. Okay, zurück zu Sam. Ah, ich kann hier irgendwas machen. Okay, was kann ich da machen? Was kann ich machen? Juhu.
Hey, you! Fez guy!
What is it?
Na? Okay, Skunkape.
Why are you and that big dumb ape Skunkape working together?
General Skunkape and I have had a meeting of minds over our mutual loathing of you, your partner, and your forefathers.
So that added up to what? One mind between you?
I just hope his brain-dead minions can dispose of your partner without injuring any of my employees.
Verstehe. Gut, ja, du und ich und die Spielzeugkiste.
How come you haven't aged a day since my great-grandpa kicked your demon-summoning butt back in the olden times?
The horrible secret of my apparent immortality is too terrible to comprehend, and would surely drive an uninitiated mind such as yours to the brink of madness were I to utter it.
So, Pilates then?
Okay, und ich?
You're a magical mumbo-jumbo guy, so maybe you can tell me. What's the deal with me having psychic powers all of a sudden? Am I going through the change?
It's difficult to say. The only minds on this plane capable of wielding the toys of power are the insane, the simple, or the defective.
Was?
Ah, you've been reading my press, kid.
But encountering two special brains in the same bloodline is practically unheard of. Your lineage is most peculiar and dangerous.
You should see us during holiday cookouts.
Ja, okay. Ich kann noch mehr fragen, noch immer mehr.
What are you doing in this 2-bit museum anyway?
Since my defeat at the hands of your meddling ancestors, I've insinuated myself into the archaeological community, painstakingly gathering the requisite toys of power necessary to reopen a doorway between our world and the realm of Yog-Sothoth.
Nerd.
Okay, Sam, was hat der damit
Did you
zu
try and
tun?
stop your new buddy from zapping Sam with a banana-shaped ray gun or whatever?
Why should I give a hell beast's hangnail about the fate of Sameth's brood?
Well, let me get back to you on that.
Hey, okay, dein Museum.
Pretty grubby joint you got here.
It's one of the finest collections in the world.
Natürlich.
Our Yog-Sothoth tapestry is one of a kind.
Gee, it'd be a shame if Skunkape's minions ripped your tapestry to shreds and used it for space towelettes. You know, accidentally.
Don't even think of such a thing.
Okay.
What are you and Corporal Buttcheeks here doing with the Devil's Toybox anyway?
We're unwinding and rewiring the synapses of your brain to cast a blasphemous net of tech necromancy across reality so that the toys of power may be properly encased within the Devil's Toybox.
Ah, that's about what I thought.
Really? Repeat what I just said.
Blah, blah, blah. I've got a wonderful brain. Blargy, blargy. More toys for me.
Okay, gut. Ich glaube, wir sind hier durch, ne?
Oh, this talking with my brain is making me tired. Let's talk later.
Und weg ist er. Ja, weg ist er. Okay, gut. Ich kann noch mehr machen. Ich kann auch mit der Toybox selbst sprechen und dem Gerät da oben, mit dem fliegenden irgendwas. Und mit ihmchen natürlich. Aber das machen wir erst in der nächsten Folge. Leute, vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen und bis gleich. Tschüss.